Seed, and I am here for the last two games with Jeff. So, Jeff, we got a lot on the line for this set of games here. A lot of implications all around. White Wolf versus Take the Lantern. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean it's obviously very important for both teams. Take the Lantern, getting up to 7 points. I believe they were in third coming into this week, so this is a really good chance to try to distance themselves from the middle of the pack. But if White Wolf is able to 2-0, then they would actually overtake Take the Lantern, and that middle of the standings would still stay so muddled. So it'll be interesting to see if these teams are feeling any pressure actually.
hmm Yeah, definitely. Particularly when it comes to, I mean, both teams are in a position to jump so high up in the ranks here. With White Wolf actually being able to get up to third place, solidly in third place if they win both games, and Take the Lantern could actually move up into second. What with Phoenix having their bye week.
Oh, absolutely. Good point. I actually didn't even do that math, but
So,
yeah, that would be interesting.
I mean, theoretically, Take the Lantern could actually almost get first, depending on how the games with Option 12 go next week. So,
Hmm.
real opportunity there for Take the Lantern to get into prime position. Um, and of course, other implications there as well with Northern Storm. Still not necessarily out of the running, depending on how White Wolf versus Take the Lantern goes as well. So,
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this is already the second to last week
uh huh.
of the regular season here. So we're really seeing, every game, every play even matter a lot.
Yeah, I mean, especially because I believe Cowbell is the last bye week next week. So Cowbell
Mm.
is locked in with their 7 points. So the whole or obviously with the screen I'm showing right now it's just 6 points, but they won a game. So um, so it'll all just really depend on how everything moves around them to see where it all ends up.
Yeah, certainly Cowbell, you would imagine, will be cheering for Take the Lantern here, not wanting White Wolf to jump them.
Indeed. Yeah,
I believe that
and
would mathematically eliminate Cowbell. No, I guess not, because they would be tied with Take the Lantern at 7,
uh-huh.
and then if Take the Lantern were to 0-2 next week.
Yeah,
What is our tiebreaker system actually here in the LCUS?
that's an excellent question that I will defer to people who aren't here.
All right. Well, we'll try to make sure we have all that figured out by next week at least when such things come up.
Yeah, it's
Do you
it's
remember?
above our pace
Sorry, go ahead.
scale.
Do you remember there was one day, I believe in the European LCS about 3 years ago,
Oh well
when
then.
they ended up playing about 7 or 8 tiebreaker games on the last day of the summer split. It was pretty amazing.
I do not remember that, but I'll take your word for it. Tiebreakers can be a real pain in the neck depending on how the system is set up.
Sure, absolutely. Be pretty exhausting for the casters I've seen, but would be
Well,
fun, would be exciting.
absolutely. Could just rotate through a whole selection of casters. We have plenty of people who like doing it. All right. So once again, we're waiting a little bit for one last player to show up. So we'll continue some of the discussion here. So we've had two sets of games, or yeah, two sets of two games each. One was more of the modern meta, and one was more of the new, or I should say, one was the modern meta, and one was the older ADC meta. So the Jace notwithstanding, of course. So I'm just gonna be interested to see which one White Wolf and Take the Lantern tries to employ here.
Sure. Certainly I would be ecstatic if one went one way and one went the other. So
hmm
I think that's when you get really exciting stuff is when you have clashing styles.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see how the clashing styles work out because I mean, a big thing about this meta is just that ADCs aren't the most rewarding thing in the world to play.
Hmm.
So if we could see if it's still rewarding against the new meta, then that could lead to a paradigm shift where everyone goes back to ADCs because that stops the new meta.
Yeah, now the strangest of things that I've seen, and I think most people might agree, is the jungle mid combos that
hmm
we've seen. I wasn't able to watch the first series. Did we see any focus on Yi Tarek or Nunu Karthus, anything like that?
Well, there was a Karthus and a Nunu in the games, but they didn't necessarily move too much together.
Okay.
There was in the first game. there was a a jungle and mid lane team up, which the Kindred working with who was it? Was it Sejuani? It might have been Kindred Sejuani.
Hmm. So I
Um,
believe that probably would have been option 12. I
yeah,
think Marcus really likes that Kindred mid.
yeah. It was option 12. So it may not have been no, yeah, it was Sejuani because game one they insta lock Odin insta lock Shen first. So then Sejuani was the follow up pick. Yeah, so it was Kindred
Sure.
Sejuani moving around. Um, and so
How did
that
that go?
yeah, that was all right. It didn't go. The Kindred wasn't great, but it worked out. It worked out pretty well for him since they
They ended up winning the
two
game,
0'd.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
but at the same time, it's just it's a question of if that'll work out. I know Ace has told me that he played some Taric and did some roaming with that. Taric was banned out in the first set of games, so they were trying to prevent that from happening.
Okay.
So, that awareness is there. Fiddlesticks was also one of the bans. So, trying to keep the Fiddlesticks out of there.
Boy,
And,
that would it would be very interesting to see Ace on Taric, I think. Very, very different type of champion than what we're used to seeing him on.
right, absolutely. And a new champion. It's because we all know Ace only plays 3 champions. It's nice to see him stretch his legs, as it were. And then also they can waste all the bans on him. And he's like, I was just going to play Taric anyway, fools.
Give him something else to think about.
But so while the last time Nickel and I were stalling for time, we were discussing the champions that we didn't think we would see even in this new meta.
Hmm.
So I'll turn the question to you. Who do you think is not going to show up?
Oh boy.
We've had some people saying things like there was a Tryndamere. I said Akali. Um,
You're asking about champions that definitely won't show up?
yeah. Even with the new meta being an open box and everyone can
Sure.
come and play, who won't show up?
Well, I
Um,
think the most logical ones to consider are the auto attack crit based AD carries because they've essentially been pushed out, which gave birth to this meta. So when you think about characters like say Tristana, um, Jinx, I would certainly be surprised to see those come out.
okay. Yeah, we had some people say things like Tryndamere won't probably show up.
Hmm.
Um,
Sure.
I said mean things about Talon, and a couple people defended him in chat. Um, so a lot of stuff like that. That's one of the fun things though about the meta is maybe we're wrong.
Yeah, and I mean it's another fun thing about playing in the LCUS as opposed to what you might see at the upper professional level. I think we've talked about this maybe 2 weeks ago. Um, there's such a wide range of champion pools and skills in this league that people can pull out anything as long as they're good on it.
Uh huh. Yeah, absolutely. And that's something to look forward to in a meta like this as well, because with many things being functional and workable, that this does lead out to you being able to have those flex picks that
Hmm.
you may not get to bring out before, but now it's open season, anything goes, except for like you
Yeah.
said, normal ADCs. Which occurred to me is actually probably a little frustrating for people who like ADCs. Because
Yep.
in a game like League of Legends, this guy's got all he's got Caitlyn, he's got Ashe, he's got all this stuff, and now they aren't meta anymore, and he's just getting his butt kicked, ridiculed for playing Tristana.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
dude,
mean,
that's so 3 weeks ago, man. Come on,
please report Triss.
right? And he's like, I've only got 100 blue essence, man. I need to win some games.
Yeah, I mean, I've primarily been an AD carry player throughout the time I've played League of Legends, and just getting back into the game now was finally starting to feel comfortable, and then they do this, so has been a little bit difficult of a learning curve, certainly.
Absolutely, yeah, and that always sort of shake up, especially if you leave the game and come back, because there's just so many new
Hmm.
items, so many new champions. I'm sure you tell somebody that you bring someone from 4 years in the past and tell them that Pike is a support. They'll kind of
Oh God,
look at you like
yeah.
you're insane. It's like, nope, that's what we have now. We got Pike support, or just Pike
Yeah.
as a support.
So what would you say? I feel like this might actually be the biggest meta shift I've ever seen from just one patch.
Probably. I mean, very,
I
very.
remember when they introduced Juggernauts, that was a big deal a couple
Mhm.
seasons ago, but I don't remember it essentially changing the entire map. It changed the way the top lane was played and the jungle to an extent, but this what they've done with how they changed the AD carry role essentially had a snowballing effect on the entire way the game is played.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. This is probably one of the bigger shifts. This is what I would say is equivalent to. I'm gonna mention. I was gonna mention Hearthstone again, but StarCraft might be a better analogy as well. Like a new expansion coming out in
Hmm.
StarCraft, and StarCraft being an RTS game where every new unit changes the thing so dramatically. So then
Sure.
suddenly everyone's playing it differently, or digging up old strategies that no one's used in forever because now maybe this extra unit being added in changes the lineup and the way it works. Um,
All
so
right, we got everybody in game.
do we? Hey, look at that. So yeah, so I would agree with that this is probably the biggest meta shift, though. I recall a lot more whining when Juggernauts came out. This one is more just
Sure.
everyone acting all surprised and happy about the way things are working out. It's like, oh my god, did you see that I can play Fiddlesticks again? So, yeah, I don't know. And we'll have to see what the reaction to it is. I mean, on the one hand, this is a exciting time. On the other hand, I'm sure Riot feels some pressure to return things to the way they were.
Yeah,
Um,
establish some order.
Right. If only because, they have in the past been really focused on trying to maintain, this is what the lanes are. This is what they are. You
Hmm.
cannot change them and may get banned if you do. So, trying having this somewhat chaotic thing, maybe their analysts will tell them it's not fun to watch, you know.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they pretty much have the summer split to try to figure it out, but you definitely think that they would want to have things established in the lead up to Worlds.
you would hope so. Yeah, I mean that's also one of the interesting things about digital games is that the year goes on, you have commitments for scheduling, commitments for tournaments, things like that. But if the meta is in a really bad place, how do you determine how patches affect things?
Hmm.
What patch do you run the things on? There was this huge controversy in Hearthstone a month or so ago where there was a patch that just completely ruined a deck. And the patch came out right before a major tournament, and the ruling said no one could change their decks. So
Mm.
suddenly these players had just these decks that were totally worthless, and the whole community freaked out about it until they let them change their decks. Because it just didn't make any sense. But those are the adjustments you have to make compared to something like, football, they change the rules just once a year. It's not something
Yeah,
where.
and they're very slight rule
Right,
changes. It's not
exactly.
something like no more quarterbacks or
Right.
something like
All right, guys, we're changing it. Running backs are quarterbacks now. The split role. Everyone liked Wildcats so much. You just all get to
that.
be.
And no more linemen. We're going back to the playground. We're doing a 5 apple count for a blitz.
All right, here we go.
All
Last.
right, we're into the game. You don't have to hear us talk about football anymore.
All right. So White Wolf will be suffering Tier 1 ban losses due to the dragged out time there as
All right.
punishment for forcing everyone to hear us talk. Now, it's too late for that. They're going to hear us for at least another hour. So better
We
get
would
used to it.
assume, unless we get a couple more quick games like what more Cowbell just pulled off.
Yeah. We'll have to see how it works out. I do. I mean, the issue, of course, with them losing all their bans is that now there's less chance to guess at what they think the Take the Lanterns team lineup is going to be.
Sure.
That being
Yeah,
said,
so Malzahar band coming out. I haven't had a chance to watch too much of White Wolf, but I believe that is a staple pick.
Mouse has also been pretty popular today.
Hmm.
He's been in 2 of the games and banned out in the other 2, I think. I'm wondering then, I'm guessing Take the Lantern will still end up having to ban Anivia unless they're willing to let Primedon get his claws into her. Which maybe they are.
Yeah, with Ace's knowledge of Anivia, liking it so much, you would imagine that he also knows how to play against it.
Eh.
But maybe
Nah.
that's just something he doesn't want to even deal with.
Yeah, not really. He He's beaten her with Rise before, rather famously,
Mhm.
but you know, not something that I think he relishes the idea of having to do multiple times. So
Waiting for
yeah.
White Wolf's bans to expire here.
And once again, we return to the, hey, why don't they just ban out, you know, Akali, Tryndamere, and Tristana or something, you know, someone that we know no one's going to play just to move the clock along. But here we are. I said that about Aatrox too, and he's meta now, so, you know, what do I know?
So with losing 3 of them, that makes White Wolf's other 2 bans that they will get eventually. Obviously, you know, even less important because Take the Lantern is able to have their pick of the litter in those first 3 picks.
Indeed. So we'll see what they decide to react with, but we're also going to see what the first pick is here. Alright, so getting Tilted Snorlax, Nami.
Which I think that's a good pick for them, but also I believe Gregosaurus has been playing a lot of Nami lately, so maybe they did some research into that.
Yeah, I'm sure Tilted Snorlax is very happy to get Nami. She uses her quite a bit. Alright, so is Anivia going to get picked up, or are they just going to pretend Anivia doesn't exist?
Yeah, you're right, it is open. Surprised.
Right.
Lucian. Okay, I believe Andy, yeah. Andy really likes that Lucian. He's been playing it a good amount since the changes to Essence Reaver.
And something Sig was saying quite a bit in the first set of games is how Kaisa is very meta right now.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen her yet at all today, despite her being available several times.
Got those very interesting, I believe it's Kaisa and also Varus, where you basically just go attack speed and AP items. There's the Anivia.
There's the bird. Alright. Ice Bird has landed. And it's going to be a jungle Anivia. Wait. Support Anivia. Give Gregosaurus something new.
If we had a Anivia go somewhere else and Ace went on Tarek, that would be quite the plot twist. I'm wondering if White Wolf here, if they consider taking away the Malphite from Darien. I'm probably exaggerating here, but I feel like just about every game that they win, Darien's on Malphite.
Well, he certainly does have a lot of impact with Malphite, there's no question about it there. Zillion's a good pickup. Discussed earlier today how he's pretty good in this meta. But then again, we're not really in this meta. We're back to the previous meta with Draven and Lucian. So
Yeah, so I actually haven't seen much Draven since those big changes. I wonder if he's back to building Bloodthirster first.
yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, he is. Oh, yep, there's the Malphite.
There's
All
the Malphite.
Okay, so a lot of strong picks for Take the Lantern here. This is not looking great for White Wolf.
And they have a tank.
Yep,
No, that makes for a happy Kenos.
it does. But I'm not going to be grumpy until White Wolf doesn't pick a tank, so we'll see. Alright, so bans that Take the Lantern considering now top lane and jungle. So there goes the Sejuani. Maybe take the Zac out as well. Guess it depends who their jungler's thinking of playing.
Mm-hmm.
They will get the first pick, so they could grab Zac if they choose to.
Well, I think the first White Wolf game that I saw, and maybe the first game of LCUS I ever watched, was Arcane Soda really doing a great job on Mundo in the jungle. And we all know Mundo is very strong right now, although traditionally more in the top lane.
Yeah, so that is definitely a possibility as well. Yeah, we'll have to see if they're worried about the top lane, they want to take out another jungler. It's all, the world is Take the Lantern's oyster right now. Nocturne.
Nocturne, okay.
Alright, so I'm gonna guess, I'm gonna stick with my guess that they're gonna pick Zac here.
Fear controls them.
And we'll see what happens if I'm right or wrong.
So support and jungle still to be picked for Take the Lantern here.
We'll see what they decide to go with in
Gotta
5
get lucky
seconds.
has traditionally been playing tanks out of the jungle.
Alright,
Oh boy,
Soraka.
Soraka for Gregosaurus Rex.
Alright, so maybe they want to avoid getting counter jungled at all, so they want to see what the jungle pick is before they decide.
And Aatrox has made it all the way through to this point in the draft.
Yeah, interesting set of bans coming out of Take the Lantern for this first set. Really locking down that mid lane. Okay, Gnar.
Oh, and we switched to Gnar at the last second. Probably bully the Malphite off of the wave quite a bit.
Yeah, good poke response there. And Mega Gnar can occasionally stand up to Malphite,
Hmm.
but I mean Malphite is just such a resilient character. Does pick
And
the
a
Nidalee.
Nidalee in the jungle. I have not seen a Nidalee in the jungle for a while. I'm excited.
Yeah. Another one of those characters you may not think of, though I don't think anyone in the chat said she wasn't going to show up, so.
Now, here's the million-dollar question, Kenos. Do you consider Gnar a tank?
I consider him half a tank, so they don't really have any tanks, which is unfortunate. It's going to be really unfortunate, actually, considering how bursty Anivia is. Hey, look at that!
Hey, the Zat comes out. So very, very standard team comp from Take the Lantern here. 2 tanks, 2 carries.
Indeed. No tanks.
Yeah, for White Wolf, this is a very interesting composition because, you know, it's a lot of it is going to be on Stelio's shoulders because I think he's going to be a vast majority of the damage coming out from that team composition.
There's just with all the bursts that Anivia and Lucian can put out, I can't see this team living very long.
Well, they'll have the 1 extra life from the Chrono Shift on
True.
Primeden, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a game that could get out of control for White Wolf very quickly, I think, if they don't have a good early game.
Something I like to see here, I like to see the Zac ult and take people away from the Zillion so that he can't ult them.
That is some next level, but yeah, that maybe we'll see that. That'd be exciting. I will try to remember to give you your props if and when we see it. The Nidalee jungle is going to be very interesting to me here. I wonder if Arcane Soda will try to be really aggressive and mess with Gotta Get Lucky on his side of the jungle.
I would like to see Arcane Soda deal with some of these high damage characters by just standing in a corner somewhere and throwing spears at them. Because I mean, while Lucian does have a Soraka to fall back on, Lucian is pretty squishy. And, you know, he saves his dodge or dash rather, for chasing or for fights, not necessarily for keeping an eye out for spears coming from his blind spot. Not to mention, you know, Ace on Anivia. So, definitely something to look out for there. I'm also a little interested just to see where the focus is then with these lanes. Because, like you said, you know, got to get lucky. We all know Gotta Get Lucky has tunnel vision sometimes. So his ability to get in somewhere and then know the right time to back out will be important, especially against characters like Nami, who can just grab him and hold him there if he stays too long.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Zac, of all characters, is more capable than most at going too deep. Sometimes it's a good thing, but sometimes that slingshot can be your own worst enemy.
Yeah.
I would expect probably some focus in the mid lane for Take the Lantern here. There isn't any hard crowd control coming out of their bot lane for gank assistance. So if you get the slingshot and then an Anivia stun in the wall, I think that's where you're going to find traditionally the most success ganking. I also feel like Take the Lantern doesn't generally focus on the top lane very much.
Uh-huh.
On the side of White Wolf, I don't know. I mean, I think that they're probably going to try to push up their lanes and let Arcane Soda have some control in the jungle. I feel like that's what this composition's early game is based around. I think it'll be a big bonus for them if they can get ahead or get an advantage in the jungle and deny blue buff to Ace, because an Anivia with blue buff is just an immovable object, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I don't know. I could also see White Wolf putting on a lot of pressure just to try to keep Ace on his toes. But and another thing to point out that I don't know if anyone else has said yet in the chat, because I don't have the chat open. Survivability on Take the Lantern is actually insane.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good point.
They have 2 champions who can't die plus Soraka.
Yeah, and then the literal rock that is Malphite.
So, I mean, this has got to be a really frustrating team to play against. Not to mention the fact that it's two high damage characters against a bunch of squishies. So I think that White Wolf is in a really tough spot here, but we will see if they know something we don't.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't quite get the craziness of something like Tarek and Master Yi in the jungle, but we did end up getting some very different team compositions, so this should be a fun one to watch.
Shout out to the first game where everyone's got skins.
Hey, well done, kids. What are you thinking for advantage skin wise?
I mean, yeah, I'm actually leaning White Wolf. I think.
I am as well.
Warring Kingdoms, Blood Moon, Soul Reaver, Draven, all good picks.
I do love the Snow Day Gnar as well. Project Lucian is one of my favorite skins in the whole game, but other than that, I didn't really see any great ones. At least, in my opinion, great ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were. I think that all the skins were reasonable, but like poolside Zac, it's been done. So
One of my favorite things about Zac is how tiny he gets when he.
Oh yeah.
It's something that will never not make me chuckle. Prehistoric Anivia. All right, so I'm wondering if White Wolf will try to set up any shenanigans at level 1, just to really get Arcane Soda rolling in that jungle matchup.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. They don't really have a team that's that great at doing any sort of shenanigans, I would say.
Yeah, only hard CC is the Nami bubble.
Yeah, so I mean they could get a lot of damage off, but unless they get like someone really squishy to face Checo Bush, so that's not likely. But yeah, I was gonna say I really like just all the champions that change size in general. I think that's a really cool mechanic. So Zac and Cho, I think are both really cool, and they should maybe try to explore that a little more. I don't know, maybe I don't know how many people here are familiar with Dota, but someone like Tiny maybe.
So Arcane Soda actually just threw a spear at the pixel brush in the river, and Gotta Get Lucky did see that. So there's a little bit of knowledge that Take the Lantern has just gained, knowing where this Nidalee is going to be starting.
And Ace doing a deep ward too.
Yeah, because of that knowledge, Ace was able to go and get a deep ward down on that blue buff. Tracking the Nidalee is going to be very, very important early game, I think, for Take the Lantern.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like to see some good warding. I mean, I always want to see some good warding, but especially when you're trying to follow a character like Nidalee. Really got to keep your eyes open. Alright, so Nidalee looks to be moving somewhat aggressively toward that crab right away. We'll see how Gotta Get Lucky responds if he goes for the crab.
Oh no, he missed the spear. No one saw that, don't worry.
Alright, Gotta Get Lucky, where are you going? This could lead to some early engage. Nope, just doing basic route.
I wonder if Arcane Soda will try to get some early counter jungling down. I'm sure if he knew Gotta Get Lucky had just been up there, would have aggressed on him, but Gotta Get Lucky should be safe heading over to his red buff now. It looks like Arcane Soda will head over to his blue, or perhaps Wolves on the way.
Top lane seems pretty neutral so far, though once again, Darien has almost no mana on Malphite. We're 2 minutes in. First Mega Gnar. Big and spooky.
Now Ace is being pushed in early, which I think is normal for Anivia before she has that ultimate and the blue buff to just infinitely clear out waves. But the push in that mid lane will be very important if Arcane Soda wants to try to get aggressive.
Gotta Get Lucky could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Oh boy. Did he step out of the brush? I'm not sure if Arcane Soda saw him.
Yeah, I don't think he did. He sees him now and he wants to go for it.
There's a spear, doesn't land it.
Right, really close. Really fortunate for Gotta Get Lucky that brush was there. Able to make some decisions and get out.
Yeah, if that spear had landed, I wonder if we would have seen Arcane Soda try to flash and really capitalize on that.
I don't know if he would have burned the flash. I mean, obviously getting rid of the passive is important, but it is just the passive.
Oh, now he's jumped over, though. He's going to try to find him.
There is a ward
just
there.
North of you. Yeah, he is really on the hunt. Nice job, I gotta get lucky to kite those Krugs out into the lane. Keep himself as safe as possible. He won't actually finish the camp, though.
Yeah, he'll have to go back for that.
Soda. And Arcane Soda missed the spear again, unfortunately. Was looking at the Raptors. Lands that one, though. Should be able to take out this camp relatively easily. Ace using his teleport early to get back to lane.
Yeah, just to avoid getting blown up at the same time.
Oh, lands a stun onto Primden.
Primden having very low mana is going to probably head back now.
Yeah, I would imagine he'll use his teleport shortly as well.
Looks like Gotta Get Lucky is assuming that Arcane Soda is in that area. Oh, looks like the last minion did die. Last rock jungle camp.
Oh, the last Krug?
Yeah, I don't know if it
Alright.
like just despawns if it's a baby one or what, but it's not there anymore.
Yeah, you can see Gotta Get Lucky really respecting the potential for Arcane Soda to bully him in the jungle, because that ward was very important near the red buff. He knew that Arcane Soda had entered that side of the jungle. He hadn't seen him leave, and so he just surrenders that and goes back down to the bottom half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gotta keep an eye out for Nidalee, who's almost level 4 now. See what spell she decides to commit to. Darian's sticking around in lane, losing out on farm, but that's generally what happens when Darian's Malphite.
Yep. He has managed to keep the farm relatively close. He's taking a lot of damage from the
Yeah.
hyper proc.
He must
so-
be planning to go back.
Yeah. So we'll see 3 of the 4 teleports expended to get back to lane here.
Yeah, hopefully he teleports instead of walking, but we'll see. Gotta get lucky, check in all over the place to make sure that there's no Nidalee waiting for him.
Although there is one in the river. We'll see if he takes a dangerous path here. Sitting on the outside, looking for a gank. Oh, will Arcane Soda's recall finish? It did not, but he went up towards the Scuttle Crab, and now I don't know if he'll be able to get back in time to help Primden. He will use the speed boost and actually get out, so wasn't quite as dangerous as I thought.
Ace probably very upset he missed that stun. Good wall, though, trying to keep Primden contained.
Yeah, and they did burn the flash off him, so an important cooldown lost.
Darian is back with a couple of items.
Bottom lane aggression. Andy is exhausted, as is Stelio. This is just a straight up duel, which is always dangerous to take against a Draven.
Managed to get
But
back.
with the Raka there, I think Andy will be just fine
Yeah.
to heal back up.
Yeah, it's not really fair, is it?
There's a nice dodge by Andy on that bubble that tilted Snorlax threw out, because that could have spelled his death, and a bunch of extra gold for Stelio.
Meanwhile, Darian's lurking here. Is level 6. Does get spotted pretty hard, though.
Yeah, this is something I've seen Take the Lantern do a lot more than other teams, roaming the top lane down for a potential mid lane gank. Something that I don't think is meta. I don't see any other teams in the LCUS do it very often. Maybe Cowbell with Shaden just going wherever he wants, but Take the Lantern, they try to pull off this play pretty often.
Yeah, there was a little bit of it earlier today, just because of all the crazy roaming that happens in the new meta. But yeah, I agree. It's something that they like to do a lot, especially with all the utility that Malphite provides.
I mean, it's certainly a sensible play to try there. You have the Unstoppable Force, you know that Zillion just burned his flash.
Yeah, and Malphite,
Kinda
despite
good.
leaving the lane a couple of times, is catching up in CS as well.
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job up there. It's a difficult matchup, ranged versus melee in any capacity, but especially with Gnar, the way his hyper works, his boomerang works. In this bottom lane, Andy has actually steadily carved out a pretty significant CS advantage for himself at 14 with the minion waves even.
Yeah, Gregosaurus has been doing a pretty good job zoning with the Starfall that Soraka provides.
God, that's so annoying when that happens. We do finally see Arcane Soda getting in close to Gotta Get Lucky. I don't know if he's seen him yet. No, they are just barely out of vision of one another. And Gotta Get Lucky is setting up for another gank attempt onto Primden. He has no flash. He does have the Chrono Shift available. He will get pulled back by the Stretching Strike. He's under and he will get the Chrono Shift off just in time, but I don't know if he'll have enough. Oh, Ace mistimed the stun, and back comes Arcane Soda now, but I don't think he really wants to go in. Overall, ultimate burn from Zillion.
Oof.
Life.
Almost gets taken out.
Ace almost got egged by minions there.
Yep. Oh. Big ultimate exchange down here in the bot lane. Manages to avoid the knockup from the Nami. Another more good fancy footwork there from Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. We all know that Lucian, Lucian can dance very well with the Relentless Pursuit, but what you can do with those feet in between that cooldown is equally as important.
Something, I'm not going to say that it's a lot of misplays out of Ace, because, you know, you miss the stuns, everyone misses the stuns. But he has, like, they did not want to kill the Zillion there. There seemed like there was a very active attempt to let the Zillion's ult expire. But because his ult was active, the damage over time was too much.
Yeah.
So I feel like turning off that ult would have given them what they wanted.
And then he did mistime the stun afterward as well.
Indeed. Yeah, so, you know, you don't play Anivia too much because it keeps getting banned.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, even a pocket pick can get a little rusty if no one ever lets you play it. Although, I don't know if it's so much, it wasn't so much a mechanical error with him missing that second stun, it was more just that he mistimed the resurrect.
Yeah, the angle wasn't too great either. But we'll have to see. Some more wards getting put down, trying to keep at least some vision.
Another slingshot in the mid lane. Gotta get lucky. Misses this one though, and the stretching strike.
Yeah, those misses are rough. He does have the ult ability now to really try to secure those kills. So Primeden's gonna have to really stay on his feet. Good job,
Soda's here now. Doesn't land the spear, just throws a cheeky auto attack. And everyone will just return to their rightful jungles.
Alright, Darian's fallen behind again in CS rather substantially.
Somewhat evened out by the bottom lane lead for Andy. Overall, it's only a 200 gold separation between the teams.
Absolutely. Still no kills yet. We're almost 12 minutes in.
Yeah. So Snorlax walking forward. McGregorsaurus Rex gets a lane ward down. There's just so much sustain from both supports down in this bottom lane that even though you have two traditionally very aggressive AD carries, just as I say that, Stelio goes in. Looks like he's getting a little impatient. He gets a lot of damage down with the Whirling Death. But Andy is able to just walk away, and once again he'll get topped off by that Soraka.
Yeah, everyone's getting impatient. Ooh, Ace runs into...
now a jungle fight, yeah.
But more sustain, not only from Arcane Soda's own healing, but Snorlax's as well.
Oh boy, it looked like they wanted to go in on Ace. I think it was the right decision not to.
Yeah, good presence there by Andy to show, I got guns, what do you got?
Now Arcane Soda coming down here, though. That is one thing that is nice and sort of unique about the Nidalee and the jungle pick, is that you don't really have to just gank to have an effect on lane. Sometimes you can just show up, and if you land a spear, it can really help out
Indeed.
your laner.
Ace putting down some wards just to make sure he doesn't get snuck up on again. From that angle, at least. Top lane, Darian is now down by almost 30 CS. Gotta get lucky trying to be sneaky, but it's totally spotted.
That's surprising, actually, because Take the Lantern should know that that ward is in that brush. We saw Tilted Snorlax walk forward and put it down just about a minute ago. Arcane Soda is here waiting.
They just realized they got spotted, so...
Yeah.
So, gotta get lucky, leave somewhat embarrassed. And gets trapped for his trouble. But better him to get it than ADC. The life
Frozen
of the
Mallet,
tank.
the first item for RTC up in the top lane.
Good. The CC bonus will definitely help.
Yeah, the infinite chase onto this Malphite. It's already so difficult with the boomerang slow, but when you don't even need to land that to get the slow.
Alright. 13.5 minutes, still no kill. Very, as you said, well-sustaining team. Very cautious team. Both have a lot on the line.
Yeah, I haven't really been able to watch the jungle matchup that much. I haven't been able to tell if Take the Lantern has done a really good job tracking Arcane Soda, or if Arcane Soda just hasn't been as aggressive as I expected. There's a 4-man gank, though, coming in the bottom lane, and Gregosaurus baited by taking the bubble. Here's the culling now. Minions block a lot of it. Oh, nice tidal wave to interrupt the slingshot. Great play by Tilted Snorlax there.
Yeah, really excellent job by
Although
Snorlax.
Ace throws an icicle at him for his emote spam.
Yeah, Tilted Snorlax, she gets really good with those those Nami interrupts, as we said, she's played her quite a bit.
Oh, they're diving though, and Stelio, he does not want to lose all of his adoration stack, but they jump in and they take him down. First blood goes over to Gotta Get Lucky. That's a big play to take those stacks off of that Draven.
Yeah. Not only that, but just, you know, the simple fact that they were able to execute that dive so cleanly.
Questionable by Stelio to stick around after the initial gank failed.
You know, a little bit of run in there.
Oh boy, that's a nice wall from Ace, but Arcane Soda able to just hop over it. And they have pulled Primeden all the way down here, so I'm a little surprised actually that Primeden wouldn't stick around and just try to shove that wave in.
I think it was just an attempt to try to get them to stop committing to the push. It seemed as though it was running out of steam anyway, but in that situation you really want to be sure that your bot lane isn't getting beaten down any more than it already was.
Sure. And the turret was going quite low, so if Take the Lantern had stuck around for another wave or two, they might have been able to get first brick as well. Up in the top lane, CS lead is now 40.
Yeah, Darian's 1,000 gold down. That's not good.
But we've seen this before. We've talked about how Take the Lantern generally, Darian is just put on an island up there.
Yep.
And he shows up and is supposed to CC everyone in team fights.
Yeah, I mean, Darian doesn't care how low he is. The only concern is just that if maybe he starts getting picked off. But he's smartly just living under his turret.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the level of commitment from Arcane Soda to areas on the map that are not the top lane, because they might have been able to pull off a couple dives with how low RTC has been able to poke out Darian up there. But at the same time, it makes sense to try to get that Draven ahead, get that cash in, which unfortunately won't be nearly as big now.
Yeah, it seems like you were saying about whether or not Arcane Soda just isn't being aggressive enough for something like that. I think it's more that he's being aggressive with his presence more than with his actual ganks. Like you said, you know, he throws a spear, everyone goes, oh my god, Nidalee's here, and then he moves on with his life.
He might find Gotta Get Lucky again.
I'd be interested to see who would win in the fight if that were to happen. They're both level 9, they're both about the same percentage of health. Zach stays close, I think he'd manage to beat Nidalee.
Be interesting. I would expect the Nidalee to win that, all things being even. Gotta Get Lucky did pick up that first blood gold though, so he's a little bit ahead.
A little bit of poke damage there from Andy, not too much. They really want this turret.
This first turret.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh.
Here lands from Arcane Soda. Oh boy, Gregosaurus Rex taken very low. This is a good strategy to try to focus to Soraka, but they just don't quite have enough damage.
Double bubble.
Ace is just going to be able to slowly flap his wings away after the exhaust. And once again, 6 people in the bot lane, but not much happening.
Yeah, that's really surprising. Lots of people got very low. No Karth Assault to finish the job, of course. Zach's thinking about it. Here we go.
Oh boy, they're right onto Arcane Soda. He has no chance to get out of this. Stuck around for too many spears. And now Stelio gets walled off. He could be in a lot of trouble. He could lose even stacks. But no, the stun actually is aimed at Tilted Snorlax. But White Wolf, again, they're going to be under pressure under this turret. And Gotta Get Lucky, if I'm not mistaken, still has Cell Division available. So they can dive over and over here.
I don't think they'll need to. Yeah, they're falling back. They know better than to stick around.
So first blood, and then another kill, and now first brick all over to Take the Lantern. But it is answered in the mid lane. Nice job by Primeden. That time he stuck around in the mid lane, got the push going.
Yeah, and RTC is also taking the turret as well.
Oh, absolutely. So even despite the nice plays from Take the Lantern, although RTC could be in trouble here.
Yeah, the turret helped out quite a lot.
Yeah, I think RTC just underestimated when he would be able to finish that turret. And he does actually flash.
Oh, good
now
teleport.
Yeah.
A little disappointed in Take the Lantern's rotations. I feel like they could have come to help out Darian a little bit sooner there. But
Yeah, or you know, bring someone else to mid lane potentially and defend that turret. They really committed all their resources to the bottom lane, and they got what they came for. But in the end, it's only a 300 gold lead that they have to show for it.
yeah, absolutely. Looks like they're thinking about the Cloud Drake. That would definitely help with Gotta Get Lucky's ability to move around the map. But with Gotta Get Lucky not being there yet, I'd like to see Darien there too, I think. So we'll have to see. Of course, Arcane Soda so able to steal these sorts of things.
Yeah. Darien is heading back up towards the top lane, and he doesn't have his teleport available, but it will be available before RTCs, which we saw him just use to get out of a potentially dangerous area. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Primedon has the teleport advantage.
That he does. Aces will be up soon, though. 70 seconds. A lot of wards getting put down here, a lot of traps. Arcane Soda keeps checking. What are you doing?
Oh, here's Darien. He has showed up. He did not go back to the top lane. I did not track that correctly, but he does not have Unstoppable Force available yet. A lot of damage coming out from Andy. The Zillion ult is forced to be used on Arcane Soda. He will come back with full health till the Snorlax flashes away. And overall, no kills, but Take the Lantern, get a couple of key cooldowns out of White.
Yeah, really good awareness there by Primed in getting that ult off. I didn't even... I'm sure I just blinked and missed it, but I didn't even see the indicator.
Yeah, it was at the last moment, I believe, so a nice job there, maybe.
Here comes Arcane Soda steal.
Gets into the pit, and he does get the steal. He's walled off, but he's able to hop over that as well as the Dragon Pit. So that's a big play from Arcane Soda, because they didn't want to fight there either. They just used a couple of cooldowns. Take the Lantern had Unstoppable Force available again. So Arcane Soda just going on a secret solo mission, getting that dragon and getting out.
For Inquisitive Minds, Gotta Get Lucky did have Smite available. So just a misplay there.
And RTC that whole time was split pushing, so another turret goes down in the top lane, and you actually have a 1.3k gold lead on the side of White Wolf now.
Yeah, White Wolf doing really well here. Managing to coordinate, use their ultimates effectively. Looks like they might... Nope.
Ace did force Primedon's flash with a nice wall and stun combo in the mid lane. And another one. The speed boost will be enough to get him away from the stun that time.
Yeah, both Nami and Soraka waving their sticks in the air. Alright, Arcane Soda has been spotted.
Yeah, he is alone in here. And oh my gosh, he is just surrounded by everyone. Nice job by Take the Lantern to donate the kill over to Andy. Big double bomb coming out from Primedon.
Ace tried to flash but missed a stun again. Definitely frustrating for him, I'm sure. Icebird
But
not being...
kill does go down to Take the Lantern, and they will have priority in the mid lane here.
Darien versus RTC here. Darien blast cones for some reason. Gotta Get Lucky very low, does get healed.
Oh, there's the calling. Chrono Shift.
Nice.
It was available, I believe, but Primedon not popping it. And now they're on to RTC, who is all alone. He gets kidnapped. He is so low. Nice job by Take the Lantern here. They have had really good priority in this fight. And they come out with 3 kills total. Maybe more. There goes Gotta Get Lucky again. Does still have Stealth Division available. Unstoppable Force. Knocks up Tilted Snorlax. Secures the kill. Andy on the chase. Doesn't quite get the last auto attack down. And actually, Gregosaurus Rex goes down to the turret. So maybe a little bit of an overdive there by Take the Lantern, but they will get...
Oh, that spear almost gets Darien.
That almost split the uprights between Darien and Gotta Get Lucky. That one lands on to Gotta Get Lucky, but there's the tiny Zac that I was excited to...
Tiny Zac catapults away.
Ooh, and the Whirling Death just barely missed Darien in that upper mid lane brush. Stelio did get kill credit. I believe it was for the turret finishing off Gregosaurus Rex there, so it was somewhat of a cash-in. I didn't actually catch how much gold it was, but he has finished the Bloodthirster and the Phantom Dancer now.
2 very important items for Draven. Baron is available. Next dragon will be an Infernal, so useful for both teams for sure. Despite being up 5 kills, the gold lead is barely anything.
Yeah, this is a fun game because not only do you have very different team compositions, but you're seeing these teams' different play styles that are extremely contrasting with how RTC has been split pushing in the top lane, getting things for his team, getting that farm advantage, while Take the Lantern's focus on pretty much everywhere else on the map has gained them an advantage, but overall it seems to all even out.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how much focus White Wolf puts on that top lane, because they do have it pushed very far. See if they're able to refocus that. Draven catching up in CS as well. Gold, actually, probably thanks to those cheers, is actually higher than Lucian's right now.
Ah, good point. So it was a pretty sizable cash in. Blade of the Rune King and Black Cleaver completed for Andy though, so he's at a very strong point as well.
Ace been doing really well with these walls, really making their presence felt, boxing in, boxing out.
Yeah,
making lots of
at
boxes.
least a few that have forced flashes.
Ooh, good culling there though.
Donut so low. Has to hop over the wall.
Oh,
and actually, they get onto Tilted Snorlax, force the Chrono Shift. Ace is in the front lines right now. A big double bomb from Prime Dindo, trying to turn things around. Stelio is going to go down. Andy is so low, but he's able to walk away. Stun again forces the flash, or no, excuse me, that was just a hop. But it was a 2-for-0 for Take the Lantern, setting up that fight very well.
Ace mistiming the hourglass there, almost killed Nami straight up, but one last auto before the countdown expired. Gotta get lucky. Jason maybe a little too far forward, but he's pretty tanky, so shouldn't die.
One thing that's interesting here is that we've had White Wolf only getting the 1 kill so far, and to my knowledge, they haven't even popped the egg or the cell division on Gotta Get Lucky or Ace yet as well.
Correct.
So, but, as we talked about, still very much in this game, the gold lead is not very large.
Yeah, the extra turret plus all of the farming lead that Gnar has is really helping them out as well.
A lot of pressure on this top lane turret now from Take the Lantern. You have Andy there and Gotta Get Lucky safety. RTC and Stelio coming up. This would be an interesting 2v2 if it does pop off, but Primedon is going to shift things in White Wolf's favor.
And he's probably going to die here, I would say.
Andy could be in trouble, and Gotta Get Lucky actually jumps in. I think Gotta Get Lucky could have just tried to walk away, but maybe he just wants to sacrifice himself. Actually kidnaps RTC over the wall, and now Ace has shown up, and he lands the stun onto Stelio, who is so low. Chrono Shift comes out. Primedon and Andy are dueling up near the top lane, and Gotta Get Lucky is forced to flash away. Blade of the Rune King slow, comes out onto Stelio, and he is going to go down. There's the egg popped, but I don't think they have the damage. Andy, being so aggressive dashing forward, gets hit by the wall up. But I think overall this... Oh, there's the flash unstoppable force. Tilted Snorlax is going to go down. Take the Lantern again coming out on top in this fight.
Wow, I'm actually surprised that went anywhere near as well for Take the Lantern.
Yeah, I questioned Gotta Get Lucky's decision to jump in, but I think it was the right one. He kept them from focusing onto Andy, and he knew he was tanky enough that he could stall the fight out until Ace arrived.
Yeah, I mean that was a really good, you know, sacrifice play there by Gotta Get Lucky, and the thing that I'm as surprised about is the fact that Ace seemed dead to rights. I mean, and obviously he was, because they popped his...
Oh, and Andy just demolishes Arcane Soda over the Dragon Pit wall.
They popped his egg, so obviously he was dead to rights. But at the same time, you know, it just seemed like there was no way he was getting out of there, but then Andy came back, and Darian showed up, and that was enough.
Yeah, and Gotta Get Lucky, once again, didn't even have his cell division pop there, so... He used that kidnap, the Let's Bounce, to get over the wall away from most of the damage, and then Ace showed up and just annihilated Stelio.
Yep. Top lane is also almost down in the turret there. Gold lead is 3k.
One thing I'm curious about, we saw at the end of that play, Darian with the Flash Unstoppable Force to secure the kill onto Tilted Snorlax. I'm not sure if that's necessarily worth that cooldown.
Well,
The Unstoppable Force certainly, but the Flash as well, I'm not sure. But maybe they just wanted to make sure that they could then go down and secure the Infernal Drake.
yeah, more than likely. And, you know, gold is gold at this point. The game is close enough, and Darian doesn't necessarily have to escape too often.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing once again, you know, Darian not really given any help in the top lane, but he didn't get killed. He kept his turret alive for a while, and now he's 3-0, and he's showing up and putting down those ults.
Right. Yeah, that just seems to work out for them really well. And I'd be interested to see him get focused a little bit more in the banning phase to see what other champions he's able to do that with.
And he has, I'm not sure if it's by his doing or more RTC, but that farm lead has not grown in a while.
Yeah, they seem to be
Another
trading on
slingshot.
focuses.
They get onto Arcane Soda, they get the stretching strike down, and there's another unstoppable Chrono Shift already forced to be used on Arcane Soda, who is so squishy right now. He's able to flash away, I think. Let's Bounce does not land on anyone, and so the Chrono Shift doing its job there, getting Arcane Soda out at the cost of his flash as well.
Primed doing a great job with all of these ultimates.
Yeah, very on point. Very
of,
aware.
A lot of last-second saves. Brings a tear to my eye as a Shen player.
Now gotta get lucky, just waltzing through the mid lane. Takes a couple of axes from Stelio, but he's tanky enough that he'll be fine there. Ace is actually rotated down to the bottom lane, and he does have his teleport available.
Darian's
Looking
getting picked
for
on.
a chase onto Darian.
Does not have ult, does not have flash. He may die here.
Boy, that damage from Arcane Soda. The Wish comes out. Is that enough? I don't think so. Although Andy shows up, they do get the kill onto Darian, and it's a shutdown, so that's a lot of gold, and they are able to get out a nice Gnar from RTC to keep Andy away from Arcane Soda.
Gotta get
Good
lucky,
play
finally
up
gets
there.
pot as well.
Oh, right.
I don't think they're able to kill him.
Plays here. Oh boy, very low, but Andy with the heal. Make sure to keep him alive. And now Ace shows up out of nowhere, roaming up from the bottom lane. They're going to get primed in. They already got tilted Snorlax. Stelio forced to burn his splash into the Raptor pit.
And mid-turret survives.
So a couple of good plays out of White Wolf there, but then they just overstayed a little bit. And Ace is able to show up and get 2 back.
Yeah, they did a really good job up there in that top lane. Good job by that Mega Gnar timing out perfectly enough to save Nidalee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a great ult. And then the wallop afterward to make sure that Arcane Soda got out. Look at that damage from Andy, though. The culling almost alone takes out Arcane Soda.
Really good play by Stelio, pushing back that Zac. Zac's getting knocked out of the air a lot this game.
Yeah, I didn't actually catch that one. Good call. So we are not seeing RTC and White Wolf really commit to the split push at all here. I think that's why we haven't seen that farm advantage really change.
We do have Darian pushing a little bit down there in the bot lane, but Arcane Soda's there to deal with it. Hopefully he's just going to ward there, yeah.
Yeah, tilted Snorlax could have been behind him too, so that could have been another chase down. Flash is about to come back up for Darian.
Arcane Soda's thinking about it, yeah, throws the spear. Yeah, everyone's
A lot
collapsing.
of reinforcements coming down. Can tilted Snorlax land the first bit of CC?
Does the rest of his team
Bubble
care?
does
It doesn't look like it, yeah.
Yeah, I think if they could have locked him up, actually, look at Take the Lantern. They have seen all those people walk through that Tribrush Ward down there, and they are going straight to the Baron. It's not dropping too quickly. And it looks like White Wolf can... Looks like they know something's up, but they don't have any vision on it.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. The big
Okay, so
knock
over
up
the wall.
there stops.
Yeah, it interrupted the slingshot once again. And Ace running. Oh, Darian gets things started, and they get the silence down onto Primed, so he couldn't get the Chrono Shift off that time. Blast Cone will put Tilted Snorlax into the pit with Darian. You're locked in here with me. Ace showing up. Probably got another wall coming up soon. There it is. Tilted Snorlax, I think, might be in trouble here. No, she will actually be able to walk away or float away or whatever Nami does. And Arcane Soda was able to hop the wall. So just the one kill, but they do stop the Baron attempt. And actually, RTC and Stelio with a nice rotation to the mid lane and getting that turret.
And hopefully running.
Oh boy, Stelio stopped to kill a ward. But...
Flee! Flee!
Wow,
Where are they
are,
going?
yeah, they are on a full-on solid snake escape here.
Yeah, right. Draven's making it exit. Oh, come on, Draven. You could have gotten out there.
Oh, gotta get lucky has taken down Arcane Soda. And oh my gosh, Gregor Source being fully focused by RTC, and he does go down. The rest of the team now showing up, though, and they're going to punish him for that. The Let's Bounce actually almost took RTC away. I didn't actually see how Arcane Soda went down there, but a 3-for-1 overall.
And Stelio does get out thanks to RTC's sacrifice.
And a big deal here is that Arcane Soda is dead for this second Infernal Drake. So that's going to give Take the Lantern a mountain of extra AP and AD.
Yep, and their gold lead has finally climbed out of barely held together into a solid 5K, almost.
And we have Darien up in the top lane shoving this. That whole time he was not even a part of that team fight, and he has almost completely pulled that CS lead back to even.
Yeah, this turret's going down, no problem.
Yep, there is a cannon minion there, so no one from White Wolf anywhere close. So much focus in the bottom half right now. Gotta get lucky. We'll probably just use the blast cone. Yep. One thing we're seeing, I think, from White Wolf here is that they don't really have too much initiation to force fights. So it's been, for the most part, take the lantern, choosing when to fight, choosing when things pop off.
Yeah, and that's part of, again, the problem of not having a tank, because tanks are generally the big initiators.
Mm-hmm. And not to say that we won't see something out of RTC with that Meganar.
Right.
When you pop it with the hop combination, you can really get into the backline and surprise some people with a big ultimate. But Andy dashing forward onto Primedon. Oh. And actually, he is going to get jumped on by Arcane Soda, but I believe Darien interrupted the pounce with his own ultimate, and they will just destroy him after the Chrono Shift.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tilted Snorlax's ult is really the best they've got for initiation, and then they go and initiate with it. Ooh, good pin there.
Stun lands onto RTC. He is so low. There is so much damage coming out of Andy right now. He is 5-0 and 13 on this game.
Yeah, that's translates to 14,000 gold.
Jeez. And almost 100% kill participation as well, which you don't always see out of an AD carry.
Especially not in this meta.
So Take the Lantern going to turn right back towards the Baron now. Once again, Arcane Soda is dead, so there's no threat of a Smite steal. Nelio looks like he might over the wall.
Alright, I'll explain why I was laughing in a second. Alright, Baron goes down.
Excited to find out. Yep, pretty simple pickup there. Primedon forced to flash away. And now Stelio, he could get caught. He's pretty far up on Take the Lantern's side, but a nice bubble from Tilted Snorlax will deter any thought of a chase.
So Tilted Snorlax was using her sweeper while heading up, and saw that Darien was hiding in the bush. I can ping too, right there. And so it was just like this giant monster is hiding in this bush, and Tilted Snorlax knew about it, was trying to decide what to do about it. And then the worst part was she threw her bubble and missed.
Oh no.
Misjudged the pixels on it and just flew over Darien's head. Right.
So this gold lead actually ballooning up now, over 7,500 gold.
Yeah, that's about our no turning back range. So we'll have to see what happens here. It does seem like it's very much Take the Lantern's game to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. Bubble lands on to Gotta Get Lucky, but he is extremely tanky at this point. There's the jump in with the Meganar. He's trying to find... Oh, that's a great ultimate. QSS from Andy is already completed, though, and he should be able to kite this out. The Wish comes out as well. Watch out for that second bomb. Gregosaurus is dead to rights, but I believe he was able to keep his carry alive. Now RTC jumping in and just gets destroyed by the Piercing Light. Meanwhile, Ace is just split pushing down in the bot lane. Olivia, not the most traditional split pusher. Shut down onto Gotta Get Lucky from Stelio. That's a big amount of gold that just went into that Draven's pocket. But Ace is just continuing this push with the Baron buff. He's going to get an inhibitor.
Yeah, Zillion was trying to go back, but Andy stops him.
Very nice job there.
Good heads-up play by the ADC there. Andy might pay for it
now
with his
Stelio,
life.
he's looking. Yeah, he's running down Andy. The dash over the wall should keep him alive. Flash from Stelio, though. Yeah, that's another big shutdown. This Draven is getting so much gold in his pockets in the last few minutes. Ace did take down that inhibitor, though, and Primedon was able to get back. He won't quite have the damage to finish off Darien. Stelio, that's what I'm talking about.
Ah, man, that chase from Draven was so Draven.
Yeah, that was the prototypical Draven play.
So if you can get away from me, you can live. But you can't get away.
Oh, nice stun from Ace. That should finish off Tilted Snorlax. Nice job using the wall there to find the angle. A very interesting... I feel like the last few minutes was just a microcosm of this whole game. With both teams finding gains, but in very different ways.
Stelio, with all the plays that he has been doing, it's surprising he's only 3-3. It feels like he's been doing a lot more.
Yeah, he's definitely been involved in the action, but I think the fact that the Chrono Shift has have to be burned early on other members in so many fights takes away a lot of his confidence on really being aggressive.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the Chrono Shifts are being used on Arcane Soda.
Mm-hmm. or on Primed-In himself at times.
Yeah. All right, gold lead is 8K now, so they closed it up or spread out a little bit further, just by half or so. We'll have to see what goes on next here. Elder is next, so that could be a big turning point.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was actually a bit... Oh my god, great stun from Ace! He saw the teleport coming in, timed up that one perfectly, and then finished him off while the sun was still in effect, so no chrono shift to be had there. And the split push will continue. Baron buff has expired.
But Ace is 9-0, so I don't think anyone wants to go up against him. Jeez. Almost 3-hit on that Gnar.
He is really chunking down these turrets too. The audio attacks of Anivia doing a lot of damage to these structures, but now you have the bottom lane of White Wolf coming around Ace. They are sick of his shenanigans on this split push. They do get him egg. Well, they give the kill over to Draven. Looked like they weren't too concerned with it, but they do manage to get it. But the Elder Dragon has started on the other side. Whirling Death will come through, and if I were Stelly, I would wait as long as possible to call that ultimate back.
Yeah,
But
Wing
it does come back too early.
Yeah, it missed it both times either way. Angle was not good. Alright, so Elder Drake, but not on Ace, so that's one small benefit.
That's the second time we've seen Take the Lantern react very quickly and intelligently to seeing so many members of White Wolf go to one side of the map.
Yeah, they do have very good objective control.
And the lead is 9K now, but we're at 40 minutes in the game. Stelio has 4 items. I mean, gold leads start to mean less as we get to this point in the game.
It's worth noting out that Draven's crits are now at 1,000. Or at least they can be at 1,000, between 600 and 1,000. So that is very scary. I mean, like, that's 4... Okay, probably more like 5 or 6 hits on Darien if they're all crits, but that's insane. This is where that tankiness comes into effect.
And he has the Storm Razor as well, so going to really have a ton of upfront damage. But Take the Lantern, they do have the Elder Dragon and its 2 Infernals for them, so they are a force to be reckoned with right now. We'll see if they go for something proactive with an Unstoppable Force. Flash is available for Darien as well. Slingshot being charged up, I gotta get lucky.
Does get interrupted a little bit there. Gotta get lucky just absorbing all this damage. He literally doesn't care.
Gets knocked out of his dash again. Oh my gosh! Andy picking his spot, getting in onto Stelio while he was focused on Gotta Get Lucky, annihilating him, and now he's on to Tilted Snorlax. This is so much damage. One more dash onto Primed, who I believe will be able to get away. Meanwhile, RTC is trying to do enough work in the back line to deter the fight. Arcane Soda, can he jump in and get the assassination? No, he doesn't have the damage exhaust onto RTC. I think this is going to be game for Take the Lantern.
Yeah, I would say so as well. 30 seconds on all of the resurrections. There is no way that they're going to let the game go that long. Elder Dragon gave them enough damage to help them squeeze in here, and just the gold lead was too much.
I love the play from Andy there. He was just waiting, baiting Stelio into trying to finish off Gotta Get Lucky, and then it was in an instant that he dashed in and took him out. Stelio didn't even get to use heal, I don't think, reactively from it.
Yeah, and that was a game, if we pull up the scoreboard here, there it is, where basically what I was scared of would happen happened, where the carries just went off and were never stopped. If you look, who are the 3 level 18s? They're 3 big picks there. Who only died once each? There are 3 big picks there. It's just crazy. Check out damage graph really quick here.
Yeah, if you look at the damage, I mean, Andy did 7,000 more damage than Ace, and then Ace still did more damage than the rest of the team combined.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty
definitely
crazy.
Putting all of their hopes into those 2 carries, and they delivered. But give credit, of course, to everyone else on the team as well. That's one thing that makes having a balanced team composition so valuable, is you have that front line that keeps the back line safe.
Italy did a lot of healing that game. 21,000.
Wow.
All right.
There was a lot of healing to be had in that game.
So after crazy game 1 that Take the Lantern was able to eventually control thanks to some pocket picks, we will have to see if they're able to continue that trend in game 2, which we'll get to right after this quick break. Don't go away.